so here's the Zvex Sonar, and if you notice there, it was doing a sine wave. Most of the demos show it basically only doing its square wave function. There's some hidden controls on here, so basically if you hold down the tap button, you access hidden controls for these three knobs. Speed becomes the attack, duty becomes the release, and delta becomes the depth. So one cool thing I'll show you right off the bat, if I hold down so the lights flash and now we're in the hidden mode, and I turn the mix now on the delta, or the depth I guess, down to nothing, we have the clean, and which is a super hard on in the machine. So actually, here's my bypass sound. So you have basically a super hard on available to you, and you also have a machine. So anyhow, that's one cool thing. So we'll turn the depth back up. So now I'll show you basically a square wave setting. I think the stock setting on this is set with basically the speed and the duty back to minimum, and so there's basically kind of the stock square wave setting. To get the sine wave setting, you basically dial up the attack and dial up the release, and now you've got a nice sine wave tremolo. Now to get more of a sawtooth, we can dial back the attack. We'll leave the decay up, and we'll set the duty back. And I'll slow it down a little so it's a little more apparent. With the fuzz, it's a little more noticeable. So. So it really kind of sweeps in up to a kind of a sawtooth sort of setting. Yeah, so basically there's those settings. Also another cool one is if you dial back the mix a little, and we'll set this for maybe we'll set it for a square wave, but dial back the depth a little bit. It's just a little more subtle, but you get some cool tones. So I'll dial the mix back up. I'll leave it in square wave setting. Now the arrow function also has, I guess, some other things. So it doesn't just speed up and slow down on the speed. So basically, if you click it once, it starts on the speed. In this mode, the delta is controlling the speed function. So in this case, if we're slowing down, we'll do a slower delta so that it takes a little longer, it's a little more apparent. So in this mode, if we start with the fast time, it takes a while to ramp down, but basically you can tell it gets slower and slower. If we click it to the center and click it back, now the yellow light is on the duty. Now the delta is controlling the duty. So basically, the way this works is and I think we might need to start there. So it starts off tell there, but instead of it ramped, it didn't affect the speed at all. What the ramp did was affect the length of the pulse. So basically, if we tap at a time, it's very staccato, and as it goes on, that length of that pulse will get longer and longer until it's basically just a small snippet of silence. If we click it back to the center and click it back, now we have both lights on, and now we're controlling, the delta is controlling both of these controls. So now not only will it slow down, but the pulse width will get longer as it goes on. So here, I'll try and show you that. Start off fast. Slowed down, but the pulse width got longer and longer and longer. Yeah, so I think those are basically, and all those features work for speeding up as well as slowing down. So anyhow, those are some of the hidden features on the Sonar.